they served our nation with honor. Now the time has come for our nation to honor them. But veterans and their families are waiting months for final honors at Arlington National Cemetery.
Angela Hatcher spoke with the families of local heroes who have finally made it to their final resting places. And Angela, the road to Arlington is really often a very long, emotional journey.
Yeah, Len and Noreen, despite the wait, the families say it was worth it in the end to see that final salute. Now, we recently visited Arlington for the service of Colonel Robert Cranston, and just as soon as we returned to Lynchburg, we learned of another local veteran, Chief Warrant Officer Donald Mustard. He had passed away and is now waiting for honors at Arlington. It's a cycle with really no end in sight. Before the sound of horses.
He always told me he wanted to be buried up there.
Before the shots.
Sometimes it catches them off guard, you know, when you tell them it's going to be months.
Before taps.
You know it's going to happen, but you just don't know when.
Before all of that, there's the sound of silence as families of our fallen wait months for the phone to ring.
Hi, this is Lisa Davis calling from Arlington National Cemetery. We're calling to schedule services for your loved one, ma'am.
They said, well, you know, probably be late August or September.
But it would be mid-November before Colonel Robert Cranston, a pioneer in military broadcasting, would be laid to rest at Arlington. His widow Sandy waited patiently for 9 months after his passing to walk behind his caisson, to sit by his grave, to be handed his flag.
I was wondering how it would affect me emotionally.
They come back to me and told me it was going to be at least a month and a half before we could even think about getting up there. So then everybody, you know, waited.
They waited 4 long months before Captain Raymond Knoll, one of the original Bedford boys, would make it to his final resting place at Arlington. His nephew, Robert Bryant, says there was no question when it came time to make the arrangements.
He always told me that, you know, that's the way, you know, wanted to be.
We have to explain that you do understand that there's going to be a time, you know, distance and all as far as when you're having services here versus when burial will take place in Arlington.
Funeral director Dale Robertson handled Captain Knoll's arrangements with Arlington. Robertson has more than 30 years' experience carrying veterans to their final resting places at the National Cemetery.
The first time was just a phone call and give them the veteran's ID number, and now we have to get signed documents, and it's signed a case number, and they call us back weeks or months later.
There is a lack of closure because obviously they can't have that final committal service that they've been waiting for.
Through his funeral home, Chris Tharp is currently assisting 10 families waiting for their loved ones' burials or interments at Arlington.
And many of these individuals, their spouses are not young and are not healthy, and for them to have to wait that amount of time is not only an emotional stress, but a physical stress for them to want to hold on to be able to attend those services at Arlington.
World War II veterans, you know, they are now 85 years old plus, the majority of them, so they're dying at a very rapid rate. I mean, we're talking thousands per week.
There was a lot of funerals ahead of his because a lot of World War II heroes are dying.
There's just a greater number of eligible individuals that left service with an honorable discharge that are requesting, their families are requesting to come to Arlington National Cemetery.
As Arlington's director of interment, Renee Yates' staff takes 35 to 40 burial request calls each day.
Typical day at Arlington is 27 to 30 funeral services. The demand is much higher than our ability to meet the demand, at least to keep pace with it on a day-to-day basis.
Yates says there's a constant balance of family wishes versus available resources. The level of service earned and requested can decide how long a family will wait.
There are families that will waive even portions of the particular honors. We do have many families that choose to have the caisson. They want the full experience that they know can be provided at Arlington National Cemetery.
Colonel Cranston's last request?
He'd like the white horses if possible.
Captain Knoll's family also opted for the full honors he'd earned.
I got what he wanted.
tributes befitting men who honored the flag in life. In death, the flag honors them.
And it was like the conclusion of a dream because we had been waiting so long for our turn.
Arlington has started conducting services on Saturdays, but they are only for spouses and minor or dependent children, not for anyone receiving military honors, and there are no casket burials on Saturday, only services for cremations. Len and Noreen.
Well, at least they say it's worth that wait, but that has to
Yeah.
be very trying on the
Well,
families.
imagine, especially 6, 7, 8, 9 months down the road. It's a long time to wait.